Hi, I'm Dongshang. Welcome to Digging into China, where we explore China in depth to reveal unique perspectives. On February 7th this year, I released a video stating that BYD is the next Evergrande, sharing a striking similarity. Both have been accused of deceiving Xi Jinping. Remarkably, this prediction has gained widespread attention across China in recent days. The spark came from an interview with Wei Jianjun, chairman of Great Wall Motor, who spoke candidly, identifying 5 major issues plaguing the electric vehicle industry. He delivered a statement that ignited public discourse. Some companies aren't profiting from sales but are inflating their market value, squandering investors' funds. The Evergrande of the automotive sector, he said, is already here. It just hasn't collapsed yet. Although Wei didn't explicitly name BYD, it's widely understood he was referring to them. Why? In China's automotive landscape, only BYD rivals the dominance Evergrande once held in real estate. Additionally, Great Wall and BYD have a contentious history, previously clashing over fuel tank emissions issues. BYD didn't remain silent. Their PR general manager Li Yunfei posted 3 social media updates using phrases like ghostly whispers and dogs biting people, each seemingly to retort to Wei Jianjun. Doesn't this suggest they are taking it personally? As a result, the public sentiment online has largely coalesced around the idea that Wei's critique targeted BYD. This raises the question, who is Wei Jianjun and why does he dare challenge BYD? After all, BYD is a favorite of Xi Jinping. In China's media landscape, BYD often wields significant influence over the narratives. Yet this time, they found themselves under intense scrutiny. More significantly, Wei's mention of zero-kilometer used cars prompted action from China's Ministry of Commerce, which has summoned several automakers for a thorough investigation. What's happening behind the scene? Has the electric vehicle industry's bubble reached its breaking point? In this video, we'll unpack the public clash between Great Wall and BYD. Let's begin with Wei Jianjun and his motives for targeting BYD. Wei is the founder and the chairman of Great Wall Motor, one of the few veterans of China's traditional gas-powered car industry, still standing against the tide of electric vehicles. With 35 years in the sector, starting from a repair shop, his experience is extensive. Great Wall Motor, a prominent domestic brand, once dominated China's SUV market, with the Haval H6 sales success being Wei's creation. However, the industry has shifted toward electric vehicles, and BYD has surged ahead in just a few years, leveraging technology, securing subsidies, and investing heavily in advertising. Meanwhile, Great Wall has struggled with smart technology and a slow transition to new energy, losing ground in SUV and pickup markets to BYD's alternatives. In plain terms, BYD is taking Great Wall's market share. The rivalry isn't new. In 2023, Great Wall publicly accused BYD's hybrid models of failing emissions standard, sparking a major controversy. Though the issue faded, the animosity persisted. Wei's recent criticism aren't driven by industry altruism, but by a rival's frustration. He sees clearly and speaks plainly. The automaker's chaos isn't healthy competition, but a facade of prosperity. The Evergrande of the auto industry exists, it just hasn't imploded. Wei's words aren't aimed at the industry alone. They are directed at Xi Jinping. His underlying message? If the government doesn't curb BYD's practices, the entire sector could suffer. With the state addressing cutthroat competition, Wei is spotlighting BYD, urging action. It's reminiscent of traditional real estate developers in 2018, outraged by Evergrande's high turnover fabricated sales tactics. Why did Wei's comments resonate so widely? As an industry insider, his 5 accusations about the electric vehicle sector are precise, striking at its vulnerabilities. First, some companies don't profit from car sales, but rely on storytelling to boost valuations and deplete investor funds. Second, they inflate sales through 0 kilometers used cars, unsold vehicles registered under someone's name to artificially boost numbers. Third, they engage in financial manipulation and cut corners on materials, producing polished financial reports while leaving drivers with unreliable vehicles. Fourth, they wage relentless price wars. A car priced at 200,000 yuan dropped to 100,000, raising questions about its quality. Fifth, the most severe, they exploit suppliers by delaying payments and forcing price reductions, shifting costs onto them while suppliers struggle. When voiced by netizens, these are complaints. From experts, they are recommendations. But from the head of a legacy automaker like Great Wall, locked in competition with BYD, they are explosive. It's no surprise that the public reaction was intense. The Ministry of Commerce intervened, and the 0 kilometer used cars are now under scrutiny. Wei's words have begun to tarnish BYD's reputation. Now let's examine how many of Wei's 5 accusations apply to BYD. In my view, they align with all of them. Let's review each one. First, profiting not from sales but from storytelling and valuation inflation. This describes BYD perfectly. Their sales are impressive, global leader, no exaggeration, but their valuation is driven by domestic claims of cutting-edge technology and international branding as a symbol of Chinese innovation. They emphasize independent breakthroughs while capitalizing on political support. Blade battery safety, smart technology, luxury branding, global expansion. They promote every angle to appear exceptional. The grander the narrative, the more investors respond, driving stock prices higher. Between 2022 and 2023, BYD's market value exceeded 1 trillion yuan, surpassing Toyota and approaching Tesla, an inspiring feat. But do their profits and returns justify this valuation? Frankly, is BYD's value built solely on car sales? Not entirely. It's largely due to their skill in crafting a narrative of China's new energy triumph. They have capability, but their storytelling captivates investors and shareholders alike. On this account, BYD is undeniably implicated. Second, inflating sales with 0 kilometer used cars. When Wei raised this, online discussions erupted, with many immediately pointing to BYD. 0 kilometer used cars involve unsold vehicles piling up at dealerships, so the company registers them to boost sales figures. How does it work? Manufacturers have dealers register cars under known individuals, counting them as sold. The data looks impressive. These barely driven vehicles then re-enter the market as used at a discount. On paper, one car is sold twice, boosting sales and clearing inventory. But ask owners, some used cars have under 50 kilometers, still wrapped in factory plastic. Isn't this deception? Isn't this falsifying sales to mislead investors and policymakers? Wei didn't name BYD, but the Ministry of Commerce's swift investigation into 0 kilometer used cars the next day raises eyebrows. Who is the prime suspect? BYD. Online images of dealership lots show dozens of BYD gathering dust, despite claims of sold-out stock. Some reports suggest dealers buy their own inventory to meet targets, then sell at a loss. In e-commerce, this is fake transactions. In real estate, it's fabricated contracts. In the auto industry, it's 0 kilometer used cars. Is BYD culpable? No official confirmation, but they are the top suspect. Third, financial manipulation and cutting corners. Evidence isn't necessary. Common experience suggests many Chinese companies engage in such practices. It's almost a tradition. Opting out is the exception. Fourth, aggressive price wars. In the electric vehicle sector, BYD reigns supreme. During the recent June 18 sales, their 22 smart driving models saw subsidies up to 53,000 yuan, with a starting price as low as 55,800 yuan. Is this generosity? Or consider if a car's price dropped by tens of thousands, was it overpriced initially? Or is quality now compromised? Are they benefiting customers or undermining competitors while jeopardizing their own future? Wei Jianjun is outspoken. No industrial product can lose 100,000 yuan in value without affecting quality. Cars impact lives. Such practices risk safety. Recent examples like Xiaomi illustrate this. On price wars, BYD is the leader, fully implicated. Finally, exploiting suppliers. BYD's D-chain supply chain is notorious. My February video detailed its harsh realities. Check it out. In essence, being a BYD supplier is grueling. Extended payment delays and forced price cuts have driven many to bankruptcy. Survival is a feat. While BYD's practices are questionable, their dominance in China's media landscape has been formidable. Search Bilibili and critical videos about BYD are scarce. Creators avoid naming them, describing a certain automaker while clearly meaning BYD. Why? Fear of lawsuits or online harassment. A misstep could lead to severe consequences, highlighting BYD's past influence. This time, however, they are faltered, losing control and drawing regulatory attention. Why? Three factors. First, their adversary is formidable. Wei Jianjun isn't like the media, consumers, or suppliers BYD typically intimidates. As Great Wall Motors chairman with 35 years in the industry, he's a veteran with strong connections and no need for caution. He fears no retaliation. Moreover, Wei's timing aligns with national priorities. The government is addressing cutthroat competition, as noted in its work report. Is Wei's critique of BYD coincidental or strategic, leveraging state support? BYD isn't facing online critics, but an industry titan backed by policy. That's a tough challenge. Second, public frustration with BYD has been brewing. Wei's words gave it a voice. BYD's rise relied on price wars, tech narratives, and patriotic marketing, overwhelming competitors. Dealers face price pressure, suppliers are drained, and early owners deal with reduced features. Yet media is controlled, regulators are silent, and the public is cautious. Wei's attack was a release for industry and public discontent. This wasn't just Wei. It was everyone frustrated with BYD's tactics speaking through him. Third, official support bolstered Wei. Previously, accusing BYD of fake sales could lead to defamation lawsuits. But when Wei mentioned zero-kilometer used cars, the Ministry of Commerce acted the next day, launching investigations. This signaled to the public that the issue is credible. BYD now faces not just a PR crisis, but a triple threat: public opinion, regulatory scrutiny, and widespread anger. Worse, they fueled the fire themselves. Their PR chief's 3 social media posts referring ghostly whispers and dogs biting people weren't clarifications but an emotional outburst. At a time when regulators are active, such snarky response seems defensive, not strategic, damaging their reputation further. BYD's loss of narrative control isn't accidental. A strong opponent, public outrage, policy alignment, and their own errors have converged. Reflecting on it, BYD mirrors Evergrande, hyping narratives, falsifying data, exploiting suppliers, and enjoying media and investor support until the collapse. When will BYD's reckoning come? Will the D-chain fail first, or will car sales unravel? Time will tell. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like it, drop a comment below, and hit the subscribe button right here. It really helps YouTube suggest my video to others. I'll be back with more content soon. Until then, be well.